Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tommy, I'm a human nutrition student and researcher at the university, and in this type of videos what I do is to synthesize what I learned during the classes at the university. This is the public health series of videos, and in concrete we're going to talk about the chronic diseases part 2. So let's begin with cancer. Cancer. Introduction. Cancer, we understand it as an uncontrolled growth of a specific cellular type. There are two main forms of cancer: the benign tumor, which grows but do not disseminate, and the malignant tumor, that it grows and disseminates. But why do people have cancer? Well, mainly because of environmental factors. In recent years, we are starting to see higher cases of cancer, so a lot of people are getting cancer, but the deaths are lowering. This is because of higher prevention, a good diagnosis and treatment. In terms of epidemiology, cancer worldwide, the first type of cancer that is most common is the breast cancer, followed by the lung cancer, then the colon rectal cancer and the prostate cancer. And the lung cancer is the main death cause. Experts are estimating deaths to increase in the following years. This is due because of previous generations' problems. So a lot of people have started smoking in, for example, the 80s, 90s, and they are starting to develop cancer now. Also, the population growth will lead to more deaths in the following years because the same percentage of people die of cancer, and therefore, if the population grows, then there are going to be more cases of death. And also, population aging will lead to more deaths in cancer. This is an estimation, it's not the absolute truth. In terms of prevalence and incidence, there is a high incidence in males of cancer, and the prevalence is determined by the survival rate, because many people, when they get cancer, unfortunately they cannot get out of it. And survival rate are higher in females, because breast cancer is what females normally have as cancer, whereas men have mainly colon rectal cancer and prostate cancer, and lung cancer is shared between the two and most common in smoking people. So we say the survival rate is higher in females because breast cancer has a good prevention and diagnosis. So we are able to detect the cancer in the early stages and do something about it. In Spain, there is a high frequency of prostate and colon cancer in males and a high frequency of breast and lung cancer in females. And cancer is the second death cause in the country. The risk factors of cancer are tobacco in 1/3 of the cases, because of mainly lung cancer, then alcohol, obesity, viral infections, UV light, and also genetic mutations. Then, talking about chronic respiratory diseases, we say that these are diseases that chronically affect the pulmonary function. Smoking is the main risk factor, which increases the morbidity and mortality. Indeed, recently, a lot of people are diagnosed with chronic respiratory diseases because of smoking, especially in females, as we are going to see in a few moments. Other risk factors are also implied in the development of chronic respiratory diseases, not only smoking. And we say that poor countries have a high incidence, whereas rich countries have a higher prevalence. We have two types of chronic respiratory diseases mainly: the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, the COPD, mainly in adults. It is an inflammatory response to toxic particles, for example, smoking, and it gives to the subject chronic bronchitis or bronchiolitis, and also emphysema. 11.8% of adults in Spain have this disease. It is lowering in men and rising in women. And why is that? Because men are quitting smoking, whereas women are starting to smoke even more. This is because in the past it was forbidden for women to smoke, and now that they can, they are going all for it. There is also the GOLD, which is an initiative to raise the awareness of this disease and therefore try people to quit smoking. The risk factors are cardiovascular pathology, hypertension, diabetes, kidney failure, anemia, and lung cancer. And then we have asthma. Asthma is an inflammatory airways disease. Mucus hinders the passage of air. Basically, you have difficulties breathing because there is a mucus that blocks your airways. And this can affect everyone, everywhere. The causes can be genetic, because of a pregnant smoker, premature birth, or respiratory infections soon after the birth. Wheezing in the first years of life, predisposition to allergies, obesity, and smoking. Also passive smoking, living in polluted areas, exposure to chemicals in the workplace. These are all causes of asthma. As you can see, there are more direct causes, but you can also develop asthma because of something else that you have in your life. Types: there is the allergic, the non-allergic, the exercise-induced, and also the occupational asthma. So 4 types of asthma. Epidemiology: the disease that is underdiagnosed and undertreated. So basically, asthma is not diagnosed or treated as it should be. And indeed, this is a problem because asthma affects 5% of the adult population and nearly 10% of children population worldwide. So a lot of people have asthma and maybe they don't even know it. And then we talk about mental and neurodegenerative diseases. Mental diseases are diseases because mental health is part of health factors. The concept of One Health was talking about mental health too. And this comes from the socioeconomic, the cultural, the geographical, and the environmental factors that one is surrounded by. There are types of mental diseases. The World Health Organization and the APA do 2 classifications. And these are, for example, anxiety, depression, the bipolar state, the post-traumatic stress, when you have a trauma, schizophrenia, an eating disorder, for example bulimia or anorexia, the dissocial behavior disorder, and also the neurodevelopmental disorder. Epidemiology of mental diseases: 1 out of 9 in 2019 had one mental disease, one of these. And the World Health Organization says that 1 out of 4 have a mental disease. Again, this is subtreated, and there is high incapacity and high mobility and mortality because of these diseases. Incapacity means that you're not able to live your life normally if you suffer one of these. You're not capable of doing it by yourself. You have to be treated. And then we have neurodegenerative diseases. This is basically a gradual neuronal death. There are various types. Most common one are multiple sclerosis, which is also autoimmune, dementia, Alzheimer, the Parkinson's disease, and also the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which affects the motor neurons in the muscles. Basically, these are nerves that are attached to the muscles and control the muscle activity. Epidemiology: the multiple sclerosis is common in richer countries. This is interesting. Dementia is mainly in the group of over 65 years old, the Alzheimer. Parkinson is present because of multiple factors, and we talk about the Spanish gradient, which is why people in the north of Spain have more Parkinson. I mean, there is a higher incidence there than there is in the south. And then the ALS, the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, it has an incidence peak at 75 years old, and then it lowers down. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you understood everything I said. If you didn't, there is a comment section down below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video to your friends and family. You can find this diagram in the description down below by clicking the first link, which will give you the diagram you can download from my website. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one. Ciao!